Hello and welcome back to the Fox Strength Performance YouTube channel. I am Taylor Fox and we are back in the car for another Strength Car Talk. So we have a few things to review. As I said in the last video I posted, training log in my garage, I was headed up to the war room the next day. I got off pretty late to do that, but I didn't really have like a strict time standard to stick to being off work, and I was just trying to visit my old boss and my old job up there in North Jersey. So I got there, I trained for a little bit. That was pretty good. I was bummed I didn't get to see Ray, but I got to train and I thought the session went really well. So I worked up in squats. I was like, let's just work up in triples and see what we can get to. It was supposed to be a heavy day, so I definitely wanted to hit something solid, but also was like, I'm not going to sacrifice everything to hit a PR on SSB squat. But yeah, I mean, I think everything felt good, a lot better than had been feeling. I'd thrown 330 on that bar in the past and in these recent weeks, and it was, pretty rough. Like, I was still able to move it like speed work, but it felt like it really was crushing me. I definitely felt a lot more tolerable to the load training at the war room on this particular day, and was able to hit things in an efficient manner. I felt pretty good about it. It was just when I got up to 510, I hit the second rep and I felt a little bit of something in my groin. I felt like it still moved pretty well. But that was the thing where it's like, okay, like this is a good step in the right direction. I feel like things are coming back in a solid way, starting to click a little bit. I have results now from the past few weeks to show that that was actually the case. I have, really had things start to click in training for this competition. So I'm very happy, and that was definitely a good indicator that we are good to go and moving in the right direction. So pretty stoked about that. But I was like, let's call it for today. So I hit that double, racked it, and we were done. Drive around, do all the other stuff that I got to do. I had some good log pressing after that day, some clean and press days, and then some strict press days. And it was like, yeah, this is really just feels like where I want it to be. I felt a lot stronger. I hit some solid sets with 120 dumbbells on the incline. And it's just kind of the system that I've tried to put forth of just getting it in and fitting it in. And then anything that's like extra that bleeds over into that fifth day, I'll do it. So I kind of moved on from the minimalistic style because I was like, just with the events that I have to train and the process, I'm like, this isn't going to be enough work. And it's not meshing together well. It's not really getting me to a point where I feel strong and in control of my progress. So it's like, I need to be in the gym doing the work. That doesn't have to be like 3 hours at a time, but I need to be in the gym and training for these events specifically and making sure that like I'm really focused on them. So most part it's been 5 days a week just to get that accessory day in on the fifth day. Anything that I couldn't get to the first 4 days, a lot of it has been like hamstrings or upper back work. And then I had to go to a funeral. Unfortunately, my friend's dad passed away, which is very sad, but it was definitely good seeing a bunch of people from high school and talking with them. The interesting part of this is that a lot of conversation came up about me not being injured that much. And I was like, yeah, man, I mean, like, do rehab, I train smart, I have a cold tub in my basement, still got to release that video. I deploy a lot of modalities to stay in a good state and stay healthy, so I would hope that, like, injury-wise, I'm not accumulating too much and able to train most of the year, able to compete when I want to. So I felt like that was all good, like talking about that. And then I drove back up to the gym, got to Warrington, and got ready for a log clean and press session. And the Viper was feeling pretty good. I feel like I figured out some cues to kind of set it in the lap well and get a good drive out of that position into leg drive once the log reaches the front rack and press it overhead. Now this is supposed to be a very heavy day, and I'm like, okay, you got to overload this. I think I'm getting to the point where like 300 pounds is feeling pretty solid, but I want to hit something heavier and make sure that like I feel confident then when we come back down to that weight for reps in competition that I'm ready to go with it and actually confident about hitting more than one rep. So I hit 315, and I actually here's a good rep. I successfully hit the weight, and it was actually a PR. So I felt pretty good about that. And I was like, I just need to hit some repeated singles here, accumulate like 3 or 4, and I should be good to go. And I was definitely having some balance issues, kind of trying to find that middle ground stance-wise. Don't want to be too wide, don't want to be too narrow. And this particular rep, I just fell over. I lost balance, I fell back, tried to push the log away from me, and it landed right on my feet, particularly the left foot. The right foot really wasn't in any pain, but the left foot took the brunt of the impact. And it's that kind of thing where it's just like you're sitting there and your whole foot is numb and throbbing. And I was just like, dude, come on. I cannot break my foot right now. I also really want to compete. And obviously that's not going to happen if it's fractured. But then I got to worry about my livelihood, being able to work. And my line of work is moving around a lot, coaching, but then also I usually wear steel toe boots to work my full-time job. So it's going to be tough to put a steel toe on and walk around if my foot's all jacked up. So I ended up putting myself right into a cam walker the moment I got home. I've been walking around in that boot, trying to take some stress off of it. I was like, it's not too bad. I don't feel like it was terrible. This has happened before, which is regrettable to admit. But that time it bruised up really badly, and it didn't end up being broken either, but it bruised up really badly. This time it's just swollen, and then it bruised on the bottom of my foot, which the provider I work with was concerned about because they're like, well, it's not bruising a ton everywhere else, but bruising on the bottom of the foot may indicate the first med fracture. So got to keep that in mind. But I got the x-ray results back and it's fine. So just trying to manage the inflammation, manage the pain. I would like to get a shoe back on today and train a little bit, see how we do with that. But I'm just happy that it is not broken, and honestly I'm feeling pretty good, and I feel like I can rehab this pretty well to the point that competing will still be feasible and I'll be successful at that. So definitely a positive outcome here, and I'm pretty happy to keep moving forward, do what I can do as far as treating this. And that's the kind of thing that I've always kind of preached and I do in my process, is that being good at treating injuries, being able to work around injuries, being smart about things is important. And I know there will be some that's why would you be doing that? Why is that even smart? And it's just well, what is the point in competing in the first place? If you're not pushing limits, you're not putting yourself in a position of failure, why would you even sign up for a competition and try to compete? And it gets annoying and pisses me off a little bit because it's I train hard and I've made consistent progress through the years and try to push myself and push others. And none of that happens unless you're kind of putting yourself in an uncomfortable position to where you have to really step up and make it happen. And accidents just happen sometimes. The sport is crazy. We do weird events. People aren't usually expecting to see somebody one motioning a 315 log above their head. But that's what I'm doing. And my ego-driven side has me inclined to start arguing and complaining about anyone that would say this and be blah, blah, blah. You don't know. David Goggins, you don't fucking know me. You don't know me, son. I watched a clip from Alex Hormozy where it's just him kind of going along with that kind of person. They say it must be really easy for you because you have great genetics. Yeah, it is. you're so lucky to be able to do this, like, have time to work out. Like, yeah, that's, like, really nice. He says, like, one, you're just shutting them down on that. Like, they're not going to keep talking about it. But then also, like, you're eliminating a competitor. Pursuing these endeavors, pushing yourself to accomplish these goals is not a common endeavor. When you meet the average person, they're going to think you're pretty unique and exceptional. And that really is the thing, that you're exceptional. You're not average. You're not going to be the average person looking for those, typical accomplishments and tasks throughout the day. So I would think to just stay in that mindset of, like, yeah, bro, like, probably shouldn't be doing this, but you know what? It's fun and I'm going to do it. When they're like, yeah, that was really stupid. Like, yeah, probably was. It's a silly event. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Appreciate the advice. Thank you. And then when the competition comes around, you just let those results speak for themselves. And you don't need to say anything, shout anything, but you know that you made it to the end point and accomplished the goal. Result is going to live forever. Until next time, keep lifting those heavy weights. Hold strong.